The Grove is the second play in the Ufot cycle.
It's the story of Abasiama's eldest daughter with disciple Ufot, and it's Adiaga's coming into herself story.
It's actually not a coming out story, but a coming into oneself. She has this lineage of women that are speaking to her, figuratively and literally in many ways, to empower her to step into who she is.
And she's really trying to figure out, can she be both a queer woman and an African woman?
This play has a lot to do with colliding two different cultures and two different styles of love and communication.
And I think it's sort of a tale about how what you resist persists.
The ancestors in the story, letting her know that she can actually be two things at once.
What I think is really beautiful about Mfoniso's work is that it stands alone while connecting. They're like Easter eggs, It's like watching Marvel, You're like, oh, Spider-Man's in that one, and now he has his own movie.
Each play is its own play, and she has done tremendous work to let each play stand alone. Now, for those people who saw Sojourners, that's another kind of a treat because you're going to meet a lot of the same characters.
The main actors in that play are now playing the descendant, and the actor who played the disciple is reprising that role.
And for everybody who I know is coming back for all of the rest of them, this play is actually planting a lot of seeds and Easter eggs for what's coming. Sojourners took place in 1978. The Grove takes place in 2009. A couple decades later,
and you will see them wrestling with what the Nigerian dream is now. You will see where and how dreaming moved from Abasiama and disciple into their children.
Being Nigerian, I definitely can see a lot of similarities. I remember reading the final draft and going, I have said this exact same thing to my dad, and he has said this exact same thing back to me. And it's almost as if she was with me growing up and she knew how I was and sort of wrote this character as a love letter to all of us.
I think that's kind of speaking to a lot of first-generation children that come to America trying to find a certain sense of self and identity and letting her identity be truthful.
Immediately she comes in, they're back.
To be in the rehearsal process here has been fantastic. I've been learning a lot. Learning from Mfoniso. You always talk about the playwright like, oh yeah, I wonder what Shakespeare meant. But when you have Shakespeare in the room, it's like, whoa, you can ask them so many things about character and what was the idea of this moment.
I think her and Awoye work so perfectly together. They're like two peas in a pod, and to watch them whisper at each other and know that magic is being created, and I just have to sit patiently and wait for them to sort of report back to us on what we're doing. I really have to pinch myself every morning.
What I hope that people would take away from this play, I think I would say how to find more honesty within yourself.
It takes courage to be who you are. You are not alone. You stand on the shoulders of others.
We're bringing this story to life of imperfect familial structure. Growing up watching a lot of TV, I saw a lot of white picket fence, perfect family, and it was also very white. And I think the fact that Mfoniso is like, not only am I going to write about my culture, but I'm going to write about the truth of my culture. And I think the more personal someone is, the more universal it is. I hope the audience can come and open their minds to the fact that there are so many different stories not being told. And this is just the beginning.